How was everyone's day?
Fine.
Can someone turn on news at 6?
Starting April 1st, the government will be increasing the benefit payments in line with CPI, but experts question if this 3.1 increase in payments will be able to keep up with rising costs of living.
This is typical of the government, always throwing more money for job seekers, but not to job creators. This mindset of boistering benefit payments seen with the Labour government is what created the inflation crisis in this country. When the government continues to support those on the benefit, it creates no incentive to get off the couch and work. The ACT Party knows what's up. They are focused on creating prosperity by creating incentives for people to join the workforce through creating a business-friendly environment. If the government keeps benefit payments low, it will remove the incentive of staying to the benefit and create economic growth. The left always labels this policy as callous and thoughtless, but in reality, its basic economics creates an environment that rewards more people will work. While there are minority groups that will struggle in the short term, New Zealand as a whole will be better served with a more fruitful labour market.
Shut up, Dad. Don't you think that decreasing the benefit will increase poverty?
Probably in the short term, but eventually people will enter the job market and the market will provide for people instead of the New Zealand taxpayer. I am always looking for an extra pair of hands on site. It would help my business, and through ACT's Welfare to Work program, work roles will be fitted by those who would otherwise be on our dime.
Wouldn't you want the government to support you if your construction company went under and you couldn't provide so that you could live in reasonable dignity?
I want the government to be the least involved in my life as possible, like the ACT Party. I am a libertarian and believe that everything is better when the government is as restrained as possible.
I also think you need to consider the real negative impacts of taking away so many people's safety net. The National Party understands these risks. That's why they support the increase of benefit payments in accordance with inflation. They also understand that it is financially unsustainable to provide for large swaths of the population. National and I happen to believe that benefit payments are tools that can address poverty but must be used selectively. This is why they have put into place work obligations so that money designed to support those financially struggling goes to those who need it. Furthermore, they designed a traffic light system before sanctions are put into place, allowing for people of benefit to have time to meet the new requirements. Think about the poorer neighborhoods around us. If the government more accurately applied the benefit these neighborhoods would have to the economic growth. This common sense fiscal conservatism is why the National won the election and why I support them.
If National is just making sensible changes that incentivize people on the benefit to join the workforce, why is it that those sanctioned are overwhelmingly young people, Māori and Pacifica people, with the justification of an overwhelming number of those sanctioned cases being missed appointments and not failing to find work?
This may technically be true, but the population of people who have their benefits denied due to sanctions is only 1 to 2% of the population, showing that the benefits that the national government gives are 99% where the money is needed, while under Labour, it's impossible to say if the benefit reached who needed it.
While it's true that only 1 to 2% of beneficiaries are impacted by sanctions, it is still thousands of people, and it is indicative of the National Party attacking young people on the benefit, such as forcing 18 to 19-year-olds to be supported by their parents if they earn over 65k annually, a number that is increasingly becoming difficult to support families on, compared to Labour that treats 18 and 19-year-olds as independent members of society, that social development can't be worked with a one-size-fits-all mindset.
Both of you are wrong. If you think that making the benefit difficult to live off will benefit anyone, that's just incorrect. Both parties say that decreasing benefit spending will increase economic growth as the money will be rerouted into open markets. What they don't consider is the loss of productivity of people who will, as a result of these policies, fall into poverty. If you are struggling to eat every day and keep the lights on, then you'll have no time to upskill or plan a new career. Furthermore, in lower socioeconomic areas, with less job opportunities, a restriction of benefit payments will be especially painful. as it is likely to worsen the crime and antisocial behavior already rampant in these areas. An example of this would be a young man born in Northland who comes from a bad family. Many in his position would turn to crime to make ends meet. Having a benefit payment is a runway for a better life, and Acton National want to shorten that runway. You say that a healthy benefit payment incentivizes people to not join the workforce, but in this you're assuming that there is a workforce for people to join. In the current economic environment, this is simply not true. As RNZ has reported, entry-level job opportunities have been rapidly decreasing, meaning many young people are qualified and willing, but still can't find work. It isn't just young people that are struggling to find work, as the total unemployment rate has been rising since 2022, according to Stats New Zealand. Therefore, restricting benefit payments would not be forcing already apathetic people into the workforce, it is punishing people struggling through structural unemployment. The impact of doing that wouldn't boost growth overall, it would drop thousands into poverty, leaving them vulnerable to all the negative side effects of living in poverty. The Labour Party understands this, and they support the common sense policy to increase benefit payment not only to match the CPI and the inflation rate, but to whatever level secures a reasonable standard of living. A social democratic approach like the one Labour lays out is better for the people, the economy, and our communities.
This is why you have no friends.